Welcome to the Fall 2020 EGN-150 Introduction to Design course. I'll be an instructor this semester. My name is Chuck Bales, and I'm going to be going through kind of introducing you to the course right now. There'll be later videos that I'll make that will go through different aspects of the course, but right now I just want to get you situated with how we're going to be proceeding with the course, what you can look forward to, some of the things that you'll have to pay attention to as we go through, and some important considerations as well. So what you're looking at right now is the student view of the course on Canvas. Okay, so this is what you're going to see. On the left-hand side are the important items for the course announcements, which you will also have emailed to you. Different modules, the syllabus, quizzes, where you can check your grades, and then if there's any WebEx conferences that we do, we can put them on the link here. Okay, so the home page for the course looks like this. Okay, so this is basically organized according to the modules, as you'll see when we get into the different modules. So we have course information, getting started with Fusion 360, part modeling, assembly modeling, orthographic projection, section views, auxiliary views, dimensioning, assembly drawing, and then we get into some simulation studies here. Okay, so let's go right into the different modules. So I'm going to start by going into the course information module, and this will take you to the module view in Canvas, and you can see the different modules. These are expanded right now. So I'll go ahead and shrink these down a little bit just to save us a little bit of space in here. All right. Remember, this is what you're going to see when you log into Canvas. Under course information, there's different elements for the course syllabus. So we have two versions of the course syllabus. This version is an HTML version. This is a PDF version that you can print if you wanted to. We have some online course information, some tips and techniques. I have a YouTube channel, which I'm going to post videos, and actually there's videos up there right now for this course. And then there's a syllabus and course information acknowledgement, short quiz that I'm asking you to take just so that you can verify that you have read and understand the syllabus. So let's start with the syllabus right here. Okay, so faculty information. As I said, my name is Chuck Bales. My office location really doesn't pertain to anything right now because none of us are in our office. So the best way to get in touch with me is via my email. Okay, so if you need to talk to me in my office one-on-one, then email me and we can set up a time that matches with your schedule and my schedule, and then we can either talk via Zoom or WebEx, or we can just discuss things through the email, however you want to. My office phone, again, even though I do get messages on my email, obviously I'm not going to be in the office, so if you're calling that to get in touch with me, that's not really the best way to get in touch with me. Email is the best way. All right. This is a 3 credit hour course. Everything is online this semester. What we're going to be covering in this class is basically an introduction to engineering design. Okay, so we're going to start off, and actually let's scroll down here to the schedule here. We're going to start off the course going through parametric modeling and CAD. Okay, so the first maybe 6-7 weeks in the course are going to be spent learning Fusion 360, which is a parametric modeling software package. Okay, actually, it's an online software package, so there's not actually any software that you need to download. You're going to be downloading the content to your laptop or to your desktop computer and using it that way, but it is an online program. So we'll be first focusing on part modeling, creating individual parts. Then we're gonna move to assembly modeling and assigning joints to the different elements of the assembly, the different individual parts, how they move and how they fit within the larger assembly. Then we're going to switch gears. We're still going to be using Fusion 360, but we'll switch gears and we'll go into engineering drawing. So here we're going to focus on orthographic views, dimensioning, assembly drawings, section views, auxiliary views, all that stuff. You may or may not have experienced this in maybe a high school class or maybe another class. So orthographic views are not necessarily a foreign concept for a lot of architecture or engineering students, but we'll be looking at it from an engineering aspect, going through the rules and guidelines and standards that will help you to create a correct drawing according to the engineering standards. Still in Fusion 360, we're going to move on to engineering simulation. So now we're leaving the CAD world aside, so to speak. CAD meaning computer-aided drafting and design. And we'll be moving on to the computer-aided engineering, or CAE portion of it. So again, Fusion does engineering simulations. So we're going to use Fusion to explore static stress analysis, modal or vibrational analysis, thermal analysis, both heat transfer and thermal stress. And then we'll do optimization studies. So we'll look at topological optimization and how that can be used to create really interesting parts that are optimized for different facets, be it strength or something else. That will take us roughly to the midpoint of the class, okay, plus or minus a couple of days here. On the midway through the class, we will have a midterm exam, okay? The midterm exam right now is scheduled for the 16th of October, so go ahead and mark that in your calendar. After the midterm, actually around the time of the midterm, as well as after the midterm, we're going to switch gears and move on to engineering design, okay? So in the second half of the class, we'll be focusing on engineering design. Of course, from the first half of the class, you will have knowledge of CAD and computer simulation, engineering analysis, to help you with the activities that you're going to be doing in the second half of the class. But in the second half of the class, we are going to be going through different engineering design lectures, okay? Each one has a quiz associated with it. And then we're going to focus on a final design project, and we'll start this maybe, 2/3 or 3/4 of the way through the class. And this is going to be to design an end-of-arm tooling for a FANUC LR-mate industrial robot. Okay, so that's going to be our final design project, and then your final exam is actually a final project, so there's not a traditional exam. The final exam will be a final project where you're going to be creating part drawings, assembly drawings, and a design for this end-of-arm tooling. Okay? All right, so that takes us through the syllabus for the schedule. Let's turn our attention to the grading policies and procedures. So you can see here in the grading policies that we have a number of different things that are going to be graded in this class. First of all, there are the modeling projects. These are the part modeling projects. There are a total of 4 of these, and the total points for those 4 is going to be 600 points. Okay, they're not weighted equally. I think one of them is 200 points, so that's why we get the 600. Then there's going to be 3 drawing projects. Each one of these is worth 100 points, and so there's a total of 300 points. You'll be working on 4 simulation projects. Again, each one of these is 100 points, giving you a total of 400 points. The exam, the midterm exam that is 200 points. Then there are 4 design quizzes, generating 50 points total. And then your final design project, which is a total of 500 points, okay? So when you add up all these together, you get 2,000 points for the class. So the class is going to be based on a 2,000 point total. And then the breakdown for the grades is as follows. 1,800 points or more, which is 90%, is an A. 1,600 points up to 1,799, which is 80% to 89%, is a B. And so on and so forth. Okay. Now, there's always interest in the class with regards to extra credit. Usually students are more interested in extra credit as the course goes on and it gets closer to final grades and they realize that they haven't been doing as well as they think they're going, or they thought they were going to be doing. What I wanted to do is give this to you right at the beginning. Okay. So there is extra credit in this class. Okay. And this is exactly what the extra credit is. Okay. There is such a thing as the Autodesk Design Academy. We'll talk a little bit more about this, but when you sign up to download Fusion 360, you are in fact signing up as a member of the Autodesk Design Academy. It's a free academy, but there's a lot of content on it, especially for engineers and designers. Okay, so in the Autodesk Design Academy, there are a number of free courses that you can take. And they actually focus on different aspects of Fusion 360. Okay. So for the extra credit, I focused on 3 course series that I think are very relevant to the course Introduction to Engineering Design. And these are the Designing a Concept Bike Using Fusion 360 course, Simulation Using Fusion 360, which just goes more in depth in simulation using Fusion 360, and then Making a 3D Printer, Human Factors, Form, and Ergonomics. Okay. Each one of these series is worth 100 points. Okay. You can complete 1, 2, or 3 all of these series so that you can earn 100 points, 200 points, or 300 extra credit points if you complete all 3 of these. Okay. So there's your extra credit. There will be no other extra credit offered. All right. And the reason why I'm giving you this ahead of time is because that way you can plan accordingly, right? You don't have to wait until the end and then hope that I'm going to be lenient and assign extra credit, or maybe I was keeping something back and there's extra credit that we're going to be working on, but you just had to ask. This is the extra credit. You can get started on it from day one. You can get started on it whenever you feel like getting started on it. The only thing you need to be aware of is that the extra credit is due on the due date for the extra credit. And I will show you when that is right now. We're going to go back to modules and we'll go down here to let's close these and there's your extra credit right there. Okay. So they're due December 11th, which in fact is the last day of this class. Okay. So I'll be going through more in detail with these. You can explore these on your own. But there's your extra credit, and you can get started on it from day one. Okay. Now a couple other things that are very important. I sent everybody an email and I hope that you all got it. I sent it both to your Moraine Valley account and then the personal account that you had on record with the college. But it is very important that you download, install, and make sure it runs properly Fusion 360. Okay. Now let me click on the online course information so you can find details about this. This is some of the same information that I emailed to you. So, if you lost that email or you deleted it or whatever, the same thing is here. Okay. So, because you will be doing drawings in this class, CAD drawings, and you will be using Fusion 360, you must download and make sure that this runs on your computer. Now, Fusion 360 is actually a very low footprint, small footprint parametric modeling software that does not take up, it's not a resource hog, so to speak. Okay. So you don't need a killer CAD computer. You don't even need a killer gaming computer. You do need something that's a little bit more powerful than like a Chromebook or something like that. But it will run on most laptops and certainly PCs as long as they're, reasonably good or reasonably new. Okay. So you can go to this website to check to make sure that your computer has the necessary hardware and software capabilities to run. Fusion 360 will run on a PC or a Mac, okay? It's kind of optimized for a Windows PC, but it does run on a Mac. I've seen it. Many students have been using it on a Mac, so it should run with both of these. In order to download it, you do need to create a free account on the software, the Autodesk Design Academy, in order to download it. It's a free account, and it's actually a very good account, or a good access to have, especially if you want to continue practicing and doing some work with Fusion 360. This is very good software for engineers to know. It is a parametric modeling software, which basically means that you're able to assign the part models and the assembly models different parameters so that you can use variables. You can use a spreadsheet to drive different dimensions in the CAD package. I'm not going to go too much into detail right now about that, but it also is very similar. And the reason why we're using it, it's very similar to Inventor, SolidWorks, PTC Creo Parametric, and other engineering parametric modeling software. So this is a killer way to get practice with the same technique for CAD modeling as you're probably going to find later on in your schooling or in work, using SolidWorks, Inventor, PTC Creo Parametric. Many companies are actually using Fusion 360 right now too, but because it's all in the same family, that's why we're using it, because it's just a good practice, and because it's free, and we're able to load it on a home computer without too much problems. If we tried to download and install Inventor or SolidWorks or PTC Creo, then we have to be very careful about the computer, make sure the computer is capable of running the software, and those typically are the more expensive computers, and so it would be problematic, I think. Okay. You will need to have a reliable, fast, and dependable internet connection, especially if you're going to be doing any live meetings or conferences with me. So I will be using either Zoom or WebEx. I haven't decided which way I'm going to go yet with that, but it's not really a big deal. I used WebEx a lot during the summer with this course when I ran the course over the summer, but I'm kind of leaning a little bit towards Zoom because it seems to be a little bit easier to use. All right. So let me go back to modules. So the important thing to do this week then is to read everything in the course information, especially go through, download, and install Fusion 360 if you haven't already done so. Make sure it's running good. You might even want to try out some drawing and some modeling on Fusion 360. There's an area here for tips and techniques for successful online CAD class, something that I think is very important. As I mentioned, my YouTube channel. Please subscribe. Okay, that way when I post a new video for this class, you will get an alert right away. Okay, the YouTube channel is the Automation Engineering Technology YouTube channel. There's other classes that I have content for on that channel, so you may be using it for other classes as well. And there's a couple final things that I want to say under the Getting Started with Fusion 360. There is some information here getting the Fusion 360 software. Again, this is also repeated in the previous page. Fusion 360 resources. All right. Installation instructions, system requirements, and installation support. Again, some of this is redundant, but it's better to have more content than less. 10 must-know Fusion 360 quick tips. Good article here. And there we go. Okay. I'll let you look at that on your own. And then lesson number 1. So I will have a video to support this lesson. Actually, there's some other videos that are out there right now that you can look at. These are your modeling tutorials. Okay. So this is just to get you started. I'll be giving you more videos in this coming week and in later weeks, so that you'll be able to get started with a good foundation and get going with this. The last thing I want to say about this is kind of a heads up with this. This course during a normal semester meets 5 hours a week. Okay. Now, even though we are online, that does not mean that we're going to be doing any less work. Okay. So during the regular semester, if we meet 5 hours a week, that's 2.5 hours, 2 days a week, then that's roughly the amount of time that you're going to spend per week on your own during this online class. So that's something that you really need to be aware of and to make sure that you plan accordingly. Okay. Some of you are going to have not such a hard time with the part modeling projects, and maybe you're familiar with CAD, maybe you're even familiar with Fusion 360. Some of you, this is going to be new. So always plan for the worst case scenario. You're going to be spending at least 5 hours a week. If you end up spending less hours per week, then that's more the better for you. But if you plan for 5 or more, then you're going to be in a good situation. And I think that is all that I'm going to talk about today. So if you have any questions, please email me. Like I said, I'll be coming out with some more videos this week to kind of get you started, make sure everybody's on the same page. And until then, have a good day.